stream. Okay, we're running, so whatever you want, remember to keep your mic very low.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this specially streamed interview lineup for the pre-event press conference for the 8 Hours of Portimao, the second round of the 2021 FIA World Endurance Championship. And we've got a fantastic entry of cars this weekend for the second round. It's the 100th race, in fact, for Toyota, their top level of World Championship racing. They'll be running special 100 logos this weekend for the Japanese manufacturers' cars in the hypercar class. So we're going to call up first to the stage Jose Maria Lopez from Toyota Gazoo Racing. So Jose Maria, if we can have you up first, here he is. Partisan applause for Jose Maria. Good to see you, Pachito. As I mentioned, 100 races for Toyota in international sports car events stretching back to October 1985, and the Fuji 1,000 kilometres, a great heritage of endurance racing for you and the team. But first of all, just tell us about the season start. Spa was a tricky race for you. Some difficulties in that 6-hour race, Pachito. But what was the debrief like, and how are you going to look at being even more determined now to get yourself to the front of the field for this race with Mike and Kamui in the number 7 car?
Hello everyone. Of course, Spa wasn't the greatest race for us, but as everyone says and knows, from that moment is where you learn. So of course the debrief after the race was quite intense. We needed to go through many things, but it was the first time also with this car on racing and against competition. Now we are not only racing the hypercars, we also racing the LMP2s at one point. So it's tougher. We were happy that in the end of the day we managed to bring back the team winning the race. Of course, in our side of the car it wasn't a great race, but we had a good pace, so there is also positive things. And Portimao is going to be a different thing. I see a very difficult race as well. Traffic is going to be very difficult as well, and we'll see what happens.
Now, your car's going to be a little bit heavier this weekend with an additional 26 kilograms on the car and slightly less kilowatts of power. From what you've seen around this track specifically so far, do you think it's going to have a big impact on the strategies ahead for the 8 hours on Sunday?
Well, for sure, the penalty is, the handicap is there. It's going to be also applied to Alpine, and we know this regulation is like this. We have a Glickenhaus coming this weekend as well, we are very happy to have them here, and we're looking forward to see how is it going to be. We had the chance to test here a few times already in the winter. We know how close we were already with LMP2s, and I think it's going to be a big challenge this weekend. I expect a very tough race ahead. Yeah.
And just overall, Pachito, what's it like cutting through the traffic? Because I know it's different this year with the hypercars and obviously the changes that have occurred in LMP2 in particular. Is it really difficult, and do you think Portimao will be pretty tricky to cut through the traffic and manage the traffic in a stint?
Well, it is much more difficult for us now. But also we are also difficult, and it's difficult for all the cars as well, because we're racing and sometimes we know we are disturbing the other people, by passing, because we're not quicker everywhere now. Some places even slower. So but also Portimao, I never raced here, but I mean, from the characteristic of the circuit, it's going to be even harder than Spa. That's definitely what I see. It's going to be hard. We have to be very patient, but we also have to see the pace. We have comparisons also with other cars. After that, we will have to optimize our pace and see how is it going to be the race.
Very good. Thank you for your time, Jose Maria. Good luck this weekend. All the best for the number 7 crew.
Thank you.
And we're going to now welcome Ryan Briscoe to the stage. So thanks for your time again from Glickenhaus Racing. Great to see Ryan back in the WEC. We're familiar with seeing him in the GT Ford, of course, so much success over the years. Welcome to Portimao, Ryan, and this fantastic looking new Glickenhaus 007 LMH car, a superb project. You've been involved in it pretty much from the start. What's that like overall? And tell us a little bit about the testing that you've done so far in this hypercar.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's been, well, first for me, it's exciting to be back for sure, but being a part of this program has been, you know, so special. It's such a big project, you know, to accomplish, to be here on the grid here in Portimao from such a very small group of people that have made this happen. And it's been a really unique program for me to be a part of. And, you know, I remember at the first test I went to in Monza earlier this year, you know, just the pride that there is in the garage, just to see the car exit the garage and get running. You know, everyone involved in the team has had their fingers on the car in the development and the building of the car, and everything has just been built from scratch, you know, and engine included. So everyone on the program is very excited to be here. Everyone's very proud of what they've accomplished so far, and yeah, we're just you know, anxious like everyone to get our first race under our belt and you know, continue our preparation for Le Mans.
What sort of views are you taking to the aims and objectives for you and Glickenhaus this weekend? Obviously, as you mentioned, it's a brand new project, a lot of learning processes, sporting and technical, to come, of course, but you've also got that natural competitive urge to get results too. How are you balancing those two things here in Portugal?
We have to balance it, but for sure when we're in the car we're going to be racing like we always do, and we want to have a good showing here. But you know, the big thing, you know, the number one goal is, you know, to finish. You know, if we can, we want to do all the laps, you know, all 8 hours, and learn as much as possible. But yeah, of course, we're all competitive, and we want to have a good performance, but I don't think there could have been probably a more difficult track to start at. You know, I think as Lopez touched on, you know, this is going to be a extremely tough track to balance the pace between the LMP2 cars and the LMH cars. But yeah, we just take it in stride, and we're going to go out there and do our best.
And the looks of the car, aesthetics of the car are spectacular. It's going to be a fan's favourite at Le Mans for sure. Are you feeling that buzz around such a new project? And obviously you've got a very charismatic leader in Jim too. It's all gelling nicely for a unique and distinctive team.
Yeah, and it sounds great too. So the engine is just phenomenal. It looks great, it sounds great, and yeah, I think it's going to be a real crowd pleaser. And I think the whole approach from the team, you know, it's very open doors, and Jim is, you know, very different to, I think, what a lot of teams and manufacturers are used to over here, and he's taking pictures, close-ups of under the covers of the car, and I think this is just fantastic for all the fans to get a glimpse of. So yeah, it's an exciting program, and at the end of the day, though, you know, we want to win, and you know, the big goal is Le Mans, and we hope we can get to a point to, you know, really fight and be competitive.
Well, we're all looking forward to that. Thanks for your time, Ryan. All the best to the new team in the paddock, Glickenhaus Racing, this weekend. Thank you very much, Ryan. We'll now speak to Antonio Felix da Costa from Jota, our first LMP2 driver that we can have a chat to, the local ace. Here he is. Antonio, great to see you. Remarkably, this is your first time in a competitive race here at Portimao on your home turf. So to do so at the pinnacle of sports car racing in the WEC must be extra special here for you this weekend.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I don't get the privilege to race at home in my home country very often. So really happy to be here. I think the track has been a fan's favorite in many series that have started coming here lately. And for us for the WEC to come here, it's as a Portuguese, I have a lot of honor on that. It's a shame we're still going through this pandemic and there will be no fans on the grandstand, so that is a shame. But yeah, looking forward, I've done a lot of hours. I think I've driven every type of race car here, you know, from F1s to Formula 2, Formula Renaults and everything. So yeah, it's going to be another one to take off the list. But as Jose was saying, I think traffic management will be an interesting one here.
You got a fine result at Spa. Obviously, United Autosports took a what you'd say, convincing win. But are you expecting things to get closer this weekend? There have been big changes in LMP2 as we've seen with tyres and particularly the aerodynamic configuration of the cars. How is that going to work out strategically for an extra 2 hours, an 8-hour race here on Sunday?
Yeah, if we look back to Spa, we did have a small disadvantage to the United car in pace, only in certain areas of the track. So we've done a lot of work as a team to try and outcome that and overcome that to arrive in a much better place here. But I think given the track circumstances here and how it is, I think we can be a lot closer or even better. Felipe is not here in that car, and I know Felipe normally brings a lot of stability to that crew. So we need to try and make the most out of it, but we can never forget that there are another 6 or 7 really strong contenders to win a race, and in an endurance race even more, because 8 hours a lot can happen. So it's gonna be cool.
We know you're a big football fan. Apart from England winning the Euros, how are Portugal going to do this month?
I'll finish second.
Very good. Antonio, thank you very much. Good luck to you and Roberto and Anthony Davidson for Jota in LMP2. Little circus act from Antonio there to finish things off. Nice one. We're going to speak to Sophia Floch now from Richard Mille Racing. Great to see you, Sophia. And looking forward to the weekend ahead. It's a really solid start at Spa with that 8th place. How do you view the beginning of your first full season in WEC with Tatiana and Briscoe so far?
Well, first of all, we are, of course, really happy to be in WEC. I mean, last year we did ELMS, and it was a good start into our endurance career, let's say. But of course, WEC is a higher thing. And I mean, in Spa, we spent the whole week there, and we made big steps forward. I think with the P8 finish in the first round, actually, we can be quite happy. But hopefully, there's more to come. We're working hard, and we're I think a good team. The condition itself is really good, so we'll try our best to make an even better finish this weekend.
You got some prior knowledge of this track in the European Le Mans series, of course, from last year. How much can you relate to that? Obviously, there are lots of differences, but can you take anything to build on from that experience when you raced here last summer?
Yeah, as I said, we had a race here already last year in ELMS, and of course that track is insane. It's so much fun. Traffic management is difficult here. I mean, that's probably one of the hardest tracks to get the traffic as good as possible. But for sure, have done one race already last year here is an advantage. And we have different tyres and a slightly different car coming from high downforce to the Le Mans Aero kit. We are looking forward. We all like the track, so we're going to try our best and be confident for the 8-hour race, where a lot can happen actually.
What sort of specifically are you feeling with the tyres? Because they're a different product to what you've raced on in ELMS. Spa's one challenge, but like you said, round here it's going to be even tougher, isn't it? What are the nuances you're finding with them, and how can you exploit them this weekend?
Combined corners are actually pretty hard for Goodyear tyres, and I mean in Portimao you have many combined entries especially, and you just have less grip, let's say, compared to the Michelin. So I think Portimao is going to be the most tricky track probably for those tyres, especially with the GTs being quite quick, to be honest. Already in Spa we actually figured that out. In some chicanes they are quicker than us at corners, so it's going to be tough here, especially with the temperatures, and we'll see how it's going to be on Sunday. Still, it's the same for everyone, so we're going to push.
That's great. Nice insight there. Thanks, Sophia. Good luck to you and the Richard Mille crew this weekend. Looking to break into the top 6, and we're going to now speak to our first GT driver, which is, we've got Daniel Serra. Here he is. Good to see you, Daniel. Are you keeping well? Good man.
Hello.
Good. Well, third place at Spa, of course, for the season opener with you and Miguel in the number 52 Ferrari 488 Evo. There's been no BOP changes in the LMGT Pro class this weekend. So do you think you can take the fight to Porsche more than you did over the 6 hours at Spa? Is that looking good for a race this weekend?
Yeah, I hope so. So I think in Spa we did a good job. We saw some points that we can improve and get better. So we are working on it, and I hope we are a bit closer to the Porsche and we can fight closer to them until the end of the race.
Excellent. Always super close in the LMGT Pro class. And in terms of the insight into the makeup of the racing, it's kind of changes from season to season in terms of lapping the traffic. Daniel, the LMP2 cars have got a different pace. There's the new hypercars. There's a big old class in the AM category as well. What did you notice at Spa in terms of getting through the traffic and making the most of your stints at the wheel?
To be honest, it's almost something new for me, because most of the races that I did in WEC was WEC. That is quite different because you have the long straight, so the traffic is not a big problem. At Spa, it was, let's say, my first real experience doing a normal race, and it's quite tricky to not lose a lot of time. The LMP2, they were not much faster than us in the infield. And then with the GTMs, when you are in the end, when you are in your second stint, we have to double stint the tires. The GTM, they don't have to double stint, so they have the same pace. So it's quite tricky to don't lose time, and it's a really important part of the race.
There's obviously such a buzz around Ferrari at the moment, the plans for the future in the top class. There's so much to look forward to. What are you sensing? You've been in sports cars for a long time now, and you love you're very passionate about endurance racing. What are you feeling about the future of the WEC in terms of the structure and some of the big names that are coming in? It's a great time to be an endurance driver now.
Yeah, for sure. I think the future looks bright. A lot of manufacturers, Ferrari joining the hypercar. It will be nice, but I think now it's focused on this season to do a good job. It's my first full season in WC, and I really want to do a good job in my first year here.
Terrific. Well, all the best to you and to your teammate Miguel Molina. Looking forward to the 8 hours of Portimao on Sunday. Thank you very much, Daniel, for your time.
Thank you very much.
Getting ready for the first free practice session, which is going to start very shortly. We're going to wrap things up. We'll see you across the weekend after qualifying and the race. Thank you for joining us, and look forward to all the action on the official website of the FIA WEC at fiawec.com.